My favourite van die Kalahari is die stilte, die natuur, die son, voeltjies, diere, baie rustig, baie om oor te dink, wanneer dit baie stil is, die winde wat waai. Nabas, het gaan oor ook, soos hulle groot mense vir ons geleer het, dit gaan oor die tipe persoon wat jy is en hoe jy is, jou identiteit, jou selfbeeld en jou binneste, 'n lieflike persoon. Soos hulle vir ons gesê het in Ngabakan, weet jy verskuif as jy miskien onrein is of dan soos jy daai tipe persoon is, dan gaan jy niks ontdek nie. Maar as jy een van die persone is wat die gelukkigste is, dan kan jy 3, 4 sakke vol maak. Dis hoekom party persone dit verkoop, want dit is baie werk om na dit te soek.
I arrived at Swalu, I arrived at Klein JAN, I arrived in the Kalahari in the Northern Cape as a total foreigner, a stranger that didn't know really what I was dealing with. Very similar to France, to the markets there and the produce, and to allow myself the time and the patience to get to know what I'm working with and learning from not the best but just the humblest people, the most incredible real people that's been harvesting this every day. That is still our process, and it's going to be another, I hope, another 100 years like that. Like every day we learn something new. So the connection between me, my chefs, and the local people is incredibly important. You know, we all have that childhood dream of building something and you go, yeah, whatever, that's never going to be a reality. Well, mine was on a farm, the farm I grew up on, and it was to build a restaurant that would actually transport people. This obsession got so much with me that I even created this restaurant in our forest. I took my mother's carpets and I was just hanging paintings on the walls and trying to recreate my dream of having a restaurant in a very remote location. It needed to be a detour to get there, and I wanted people to drive especially for the food. And I think that was my main motivation behind Klein JAN to start with, is to make a dream come true. And you get changes of seasons. Like now it's raining, and this is the time I'm gonna just run out now and actually smell that smell of petrichor when the first rain falls on the wet sand. That's the smell of the real Kalahari, and that links us to even the water glass that we serve the water in. It's a heavy crystal, it's a baccarat, it is the most expensive glass, it's the most heaviest glass you can find, and that's how important and the weight of water is here. So all of these elements connect to Klein JAN, which is underground, and almost preserving what we've got in a safe space.
die eerste keer hoe ek dit sien, toe wil ek weet wat is dit. Toe sê hulle vir my dis 'n ngaba. Toe wil ek weet wat is 'n ngaba. Toe het hulle dit gekook en toe ek geproe. So toe ek die eerste dag dit proe, was ek baie lief vir dit want dit is baie heerlik en ek hou van die reuk van dit, die natuur, so hy grond as dit reën, hy varsste. So dat ek van die tyd af dat ek baie gehou van ngabas. Soos dit ngabas tyd is, toe ek in Kroeman was, het ek altyd my maale gebel. Kry julle nog ngabas sê, dan sê hulle vir ons, nee, die Kalahari is baie droog, hier was die reën nie, so daar's nog ngabas die jaar vir jou nie of net so.
First year that I actually worked with them, because they were so scarce for the past few years and the droughts we have, and again I was more familiar with the European truffle, and then coming back to South Africa to open Klein JAN, we did a full extensive research on the local produce, and again that's, you know, people just assume you should know some things and you should just be on top of it. You don't have to be. You can learn and be more enriched as you go with it and take a new product and play with it. And listen to the local people because they give you the best advice. And what I've learned is that this beautiful, it's almost like a golden potato, you know, and the spores that they leave behind, it's the opposite of the European truffle. In France, for example, the truffles we hunt is under oak trees, and they are very difficult to even see where they are. So it's only the oak tree that leads you to the point. As with the Kalahari truffles, you'll have the springbok cucumbers or the kalbassis or watermelons or melons, and their beautiful kind of leaf system and the whole crawling. It's almost like their vines, where the vines are, where the melons are, you know you're close. That's our oak trees. And then the moment you see that there's a crack in the soil or in the sand, that just opens up, like the earth is trying, it's almost like leaving you a little message. It's like, read my email. And then the moment you put your hands in there, you discover this golden, beautiful ingredient. And that's what we just like work with at the moment. It's so precious. So without even thinking about seasons or considering drought and right temperatures, it's just about time. And if the time is not right, if the universe don't allow it, then you can forget about it. And in that sense, I would say time and place is my two words that I would kind of really bring Klein JAN together with.
Okay, ons noem dit ngabas, ngabas, ngabas. So in Tswana, as ek dit met swai, dan gaan ons dit noem mupu. So dis 'n veldaartappel wat die groot mense destyds ontdek het in die veld. So as hulle uitgaan na die veld toe, dan het hulle altyd gaan soek vir ngabas. So ek was nog kleiner geweest, toe het ek altyd gehoor van ngabas. So ek was baie oorig, baie nuuskierig vir alles. So dat ek saam met hulle altyd in die veld in beweeg en het hulle vir my gewys hoe lyk 'n ngabas se baars as hy oopskiet. En dat ek maar altyd gegrou na dit en maar ek het nooit een gevind nie, maar hulle het altyd een gevind. So vir die Kalahari mense is ngabas 'n baie groot hoe kan ek sê voedselketting, want dit is amper soos 'n tappel, dit voed hulle. So wanneer de nabestyd is, especially March na Mei toe, dan is hulle baie opgewonde en nuuskierig om in die veld desert in te gaan om te soek na dit.
So truffles do get quite watery if you would freeze them, or I guess it's like any normal product, you know, or ingredient. They don't want to be forced and kept for a longer period than they should be. And yes, here we come, us humans, like da-da-da, we want all of it right now and we want to keep it so everybody can have it. It's just not how it works. So the root cellar might help us with a high humidity and a low degrees control, but if you can pickle it, that's also an old technique, just to put the truffle in a beautiful vinegar and sometimes oil mixture. That might keep it for longer. And then also there's other ways. You can literally make like a powder, a serious ground coffee powder from it, and use that in your sauces later on. I really prefer the natural ways of keeping it, and probably most above that is using it while you've got it fresh. And another great way, which is really good, is infusing it in alcohol. And it also gives you not only a fantastic afternoon, but it gives you that beauty of the essence of a product, of the truffle that comes through with every sip. I mean, the journey is not only for the diners, but it's also for the chefs and for us who create the food and design the plate and get to know the environment and the nature around the Kalahari. It's like harvesting truffles. It's a journey, and it takes days and hours, and you might not get one. You might be lucky and you get a few. But it's that pleasure of engaging in your surroundings and making that moment special. Good morning, checking in. It's a sunny day in the Kalahari with the birds out there and a temperature of 32 degrees. Good morning, Swallow.